Hewes Street. So this station is pretty different in ways than the rest of the Broadway stations on the J and M and Z lines. So what changes here is, well, obviously first off, you notice that it's at an angle, but that's not what really changes in real life, because in real life it looks straight. But what changes here is that the mezzanine, which is located closest to Hewes Street, it splits off into two for whatever odd reason. So of course you have the J and the M, but this time it says Manhattan. But before we go in, I just want to point this out because I know some of you had to have noticed the red street sign. So this is where Montrose Avenue is supposed to connect. So if you didn't know, Montrose Avenue, the same one that goes all the way over to the L, connects here. But just because of technical reasons related to my angles, I'm not going to be connecting this. So I'm putting a red street sign. So the red street sign is going to be there. Here, let me give you guys a lamp in case you can't see, because some people were saying that they couldn't see properly when it was dark, but of course it is nighttime in real life, so it's going to be nighttime in the video. So this street sign is red because if I don't have the physical street there, but it's roughly around here, so I don't have the exact location of the street, but it's just by measurement of the station, then I'm just going to put a red sign to indicate that the street is roughly here, but I don't exactly have the street where it's exactly supposed to be. So it's just a traffic light with a red street sign indicating that the street is meant to be there. So that is Montrose Avenue. I did already tour the station. If anybody's interested in that station, I'll link it below. So Hewes Street Station for the J and M Manhattan. So this is the Manhattan side. So when you enter over here, you've got the J and M. I couldn't find any pictures of this area, so I did my best to try to put together what I think it would look like. You have your minecart machine here. I put this pillar here because I thought that looked cool. Entry to the J&M with the newer turnstile design. I finally put the emergency exit over there. And of course you go out there. Alright, so let's go up to the platform. Alright, so you have your exit sign here. Broadway and Hewes Street. We look out here. You can see down to the tracks. The turn is slightly farther than in real life, or no, correction, further. Also my New Year's resolution is to use proper grammar. That includes proper punctuation. So if I say farther and it's really further, I'm going to correct myself in the video. And actually, I'd encourage everyone else to do the same, because I have noticed that just in general, people's pronunciation and punctuation has just been getting worse. I even saw a video saying that the average level of a presidential speech in the 1700s was on a college level, and today it has gone down to a middle school level. So yeah, that's my New Year's resolution, to practice proper pronunciation and grammar, because surprisingly I've noticed that a lot of people, including myself, have just been getting worse at that. So yeah. Okay, so you can see down there, the bend is further away. The reason for this is because because of the angle, you know. I didn't have it as the sharpest of angles. If I made the angle sharper, then it would have reached a little bit earlier, and then this curve would have happened a little bit closer to the station, but you can still see it, so that's all that matters, and it's still there just like in real life. And over there, what you have is the remnants of the building near Lorimer Street. If you didn't know, this is where Lorimer Street used to be. I think, is that the shadow of it? The aftermath of it getting deleted with World Edit. Sometimes World Edit glitches and leaves behind a shadow, but that looks like the shadow of the building, so it was probably a little bit more this way. But yeah, there's the shadow. I'm also going to show you guys the new Lorimer Street in this video as well. So we head down here. You can see down the angled platform is really cool. Well, not like really cool because it's an angled platform. So you guys know what I mean. Then I've changed the design a little bit over here. You can see they're like more boxy, how they are in real life. Like how they are in real life. Hewes Street. Got the bench here. It's shorter this time because of the angle. I didn't want it to get shredded. And you can just see down the tracks. I think Marcy Avenue would be visible from here. There's a brown line. I've already marked where Marcy Avenue should be. Can you see? Yeah, you see that brown line? You can kind of see it. It's dark. Is my brightness? Yeah, my brightness is at full. But there's like a brown line over there. If you can see that, then technically you would be able to see Marcy Avenue from Hewes Street. Alright. So you can see down to the mezzanine there. I decided to go for an open roof design for this one. So we'll get down there in a minute. Here are the Manhattan Bound announcements. So J is on top as always and M is on the bottom.
This is a Manhattan-bound J local train. The next stop is Marcy Avenue.
I might attempt to record a better version of the Manhattan-bound J local train announcement. Just because it does sound a little bit off. It's not the worst in the world, but I think that there is some possibility of improvement there. And I'll play the M one now.
This is a Manhattan-bound M local train. The next stop is Marcy Avenue.
Alright, so those are finished. Let's go down here to the mezzanine. We'll go to the other side. You can hear the uptown announcements soon enough. Here is the mezzanine. Pretty standard for this type of station. This one's a normal mezzanine. Of course, we don't have roads here for the aforementioned reasons. So you got the sign here, JM to Manhattan. Of course, you go back up there for the Manhattan side. Exit Broadway and Hooper Street, if that's how it's pronounced. Got two exits here. You can see up to the platform. That's pretty cool. You got the tracks above you. I don't know if it does this in real life. I just thought it would be cool too. So we can come out here. This is the exit. So if you can't see what it says Hewes Street Station, J and M. I think you should be able to read this. I think it's bright enough. So we'll cross over Broadway. Here's a view under the elevator, which looks really cool. Then another view facing that way. So we'll go back up here. Hewes Street Station, J and M. Come up back here. Again, you can get a minecart there. Entry for the J and the M. Queens, J and M. And now we're going to go to the Queens-bound J and M announcements. Then we're going to go over to Lorimer Street. I tried my best to get some good detailing in the station. Of course, you guys know it's pretty difficult to detail stations when they're at such an angle as this one. However, I think it's close enough for Hewes Street. Hewes Street does actually feel like quite an empty station in real life. So I think it's alright to have it like this in game. The elevated stations don't typically have too much on them anyway. So we come up to the Queens-bound announcements. As always, top is J, bottom is M.
This is a Queens-bound J local train. The next stop is Lorimer Street.
Alright, let's go to the M now.
This is a Queens-bound M local train. The next stop is Lorimer Street.
So is it just me, or did I make that one quieter? We'll find out. When I go to Lorimer Street, if you guys want, you could compare the announcements in the video. So yeah, we're going to exit out at Broadway and Hewes Street. Exit Broadway and Hewes Street. That is where the machine was able to fit, so I just threw it over here. One final look for the entry and Queens J and M side. No, entry to Queens J and M side. Alright, Hewes Street, Queens, J and M. Now let's head over to Lorimer Street. We're actually going to fly over there because I don't have the proper speed set up on top, so we can't just ride it over. Otherwise, I would consider it. Alright, so you can still see Hewes Street over there. I think Hewes Street unloads when we get a little bit into Lorimer Street. So yeah, you can see the new Lorimer Street. Unfortunately, I was not able to do a time-lapse. I didn't record it that well. I'll get better at it, so one day I will have a time-lapse, hopefully at one of these stations. So, Lorimer Street subway station, J and M. Again, this is the new Lorimer Street. The old Lorimer Street had to be destroyed because it was incorrectly placed. and would not allow for proper connection to the Williamsburg Bridge. So over here you have your minecart machines. I guess we'll get fresh ones. So yeah, fresh minecart because this is a new station. Of course, the other side looks the same. Lorimer Street subway station, J and M lines. There's an arrow pointing over here. They do have the caged turnstiles over here. They're not functional because I cannot make these functional on elevateds. Over here we have the turnstiles. The signs are separated because it's a really low ceiling, but I wanted to fit the signs in. So it says entry J and M lines, and then there's an empty sign at the end, as always, just to keep it even looking. So this side is Manhattan, this side is Queens. Let's go for the Manhattan side first. So again, you have the sign there that says exit Lorimer Street and Broadway. I do think that my Lorimer Street looks better than my Hewes Street, if I'm being honest, but you guys can decide. Of course, I think Lorimer Street's going to look better because it's straight. Anytime you have an angled station, it does take away from the potential detail that you can throw in there. And I have made the roof curvature slighter. No, not the curvature. The slope of the roof is... what is the word? I wouldn't say steeper. Yeah, what do you call something when... what's the opposite of steeper? So here we have a more gentle slope. So here are the announcements. J is at the top, M is at the bottom.
This is a Manhattan-bound J local train. The next stop is Hewes Street. This is a Manhattan-bound M local train. The next stop is Hewes Street.
Okay, so let's go over here to this end of the platform. I really like how Lorimer Street came out, actually. I would give it its own tour, but considering there was already a video covering the old Lorimer Street on this world, I don't want to give you guys a second tour of the same station. So, it's gonna be grouped in with Hewes Street here. So exit Broadway and Leonard Street. When you come down here, this mezzanine looks really nice. I am really happy with this one. Let me know what you guys think, but I really like how this mezzanine came out. Nice, lots of space, very open, and it just captures it perfectly. So Manhattan J and M, exit Broadway and Leonard Street, Queens J and M. We'll go back up there in a minute, and then you guys can hear the announcements. And you know what? As a special treat, I'll ride the J from here to Hewes Street. How's that sound? So we'll go out here. You can see out the window. Pretty cool. Northeast corner of Broadway and Leonard Street. Come out here. Of course, there is no Leonard Street build, so just has a sign, Leonard Street. So again, it has not been built. So there will just be red signs where streets have not been built yet, in case you are just joining the premiere. Okay, there is another view down the elevated. Do I have my render distance? Yeah. So we cannot see Flushing Avenue, although I thought you would be able to. When we go up there, we're going to try to see Flushing Avenue because I think you should be able to see it. So Lorimer Street subway station, J and M. We'll head back up here. Entry for the J and M lines are over here. Again, just one last view. I really like how this mezzanine came out. Queens, J and M will go up here. Let's see if we can see Flushing Avenue from here, yeah? No. We want Flushing Avenue. It's not cool. Alright. Here is the Queens. Yeah, this is Queens. Yep, that's east. Okay, Queens.
This is a Queens-bound J local train. The next stop is Flushing Avenue. This is a Queens-bound M local train. The next stop is Flushing Avenue.
Okay, so I see why the M announcement sounds quieter at Hewes Street. is because I got rid of the extra background noise that it had in it. So that explains it. Alright, so let's head back over here, and I'll give you guys a quick ride back to Hewes Street, and then we're going to end off the video. So one final look here at Lorimer Street. I think it's really nice looking. A shame that it couldn't have its own tour, but it's alright. It's going to go with Hewes Street. Alright, so let's take it as an M.
This is a Manhattan-bound M local train. The next stop is Hewes Street. This is a Manhattan-bound M local train. The next stop is Marcy Avenue.
Alright, so that was a little ride there on the M. Little special treat, bonus sort of thing, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed these tours of Hewes Street and Lorimer Street. Next episode will probably be Marcy Avenue. It's going to go over here. I've already got the spot set up. See, tracks are already there. It's going to go along. I've already measured out how long it is. You guys have seen the Williamsburg Bridge. Hopefully by now. If not, then that will also be linked in the description. So Williamsburg Bridge, you saw it's over there. Track's obviously going to connect to the bridge. They're right there. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace!